Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 106, the book of 1 Samuel, chapters 13 and 14. If you enjoy this podcast, consider supporting us at patreon.com/BFW. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
What are we doing today?
Well, we're working our way through 1 Samuel.
How long is 1 Samuel?
One crazy thing after another. We're about half done. I think there's 31 chapters.
Oh, okay. I thought we were further along than that, but I guess we just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, chapter 13. And last time, the Ammonites were going to pluck out the eyes of the Israelites.
Yeah.
Because they were going to take them slaves because they were kind of starting to take over.
Yeah, and they also had that body part message, right?
Oh, yes. The ox.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 oxes, I guess.
2 oxes, chopped them all up, and that kind of saved the day.
Would save my day.
Yeah, well, it worked. Everybody in Israel came, and they fought off the Ammonites.
Yeah. And they didn't have to get their eye plucked out.
Nope.
Okay, chapter 13. After reigning a year or two, Saul chose 3,000 men. 2,000 went with him, and the others went with his son Jonathan. Is this the first time we've heard about Jonathan?
I think it is.
Okay. So Jonathan killed Philistines while his father traveled throughout Israel, blowing a trumpet and saying, "Let the Hebrews hear."
Yeah, isn't that weird? I guess that Saul went all throughout Israel. You know, it's a pretty big country. It's
yes,
not huge.
it is. With a trumpet, just blowing
With
a
the
trumpet.
blowing it and saying those words, "Let the Israelites hear." Anyway, I guess that worked because, as verse 4 says, everyone in Israel heard Saul's trumpet, and they came to Gilgal to meet Saul.
Is that what he was saying when he blew his trumpet? Come meet me in Gilgal?
No, just let the Israelites hear.
Okay.
You know how sometimes they send a body part message and everybody knows what to do? I think when you hear that, you see Saul, hear him blow his trumpet, you know it's time to go to Gilgal.
Okay. And so I guess the Philistines, well, wait a minute. He's calling the Israelites, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Philistines also gathered together. 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and people as many as the sand on the seashore. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
They're going to win, I think.
Yeah. When the Israelites saw the Philistines, they were afraid and hid in caves, thickets, rocks, mountains, and pits.
I would too if I were them. So verse 8, Saul waited for Samuel for 7 days, but Samuel didn't come.
So he sacrificed some animals to God.
When Samuel finally arrived, he was angry because of Saul's sacrifices. He said to Saul, "What have you done?"
Saul said, "Since you didn't come when you said you would, and the Philistines were preparing to attack, I made a burnt offering to God."
Samuel said to Saul, "You acted foolishly and broke God's commandment. Now your kingdom will be taken from you."
God will find a man after his own heart to replace you.
So I'm trying to remember where God said no more animal sacrifices.
There's a place where it says that you have to do it at a particular place. You don't want to just do it any old place.
Oh, okay.
But just exactly when that occurred isn't clear to me. But I guess that Samuel told Saul, "I'll come and sacrifice some animals. Wait 7 days." He said that like in the last episode.
Okay.
And so Saul waited the 7 days. Samuel didn't show. He's got all these Philistines to worry about. He's got to get God on his side.
Yes.
The only way you do that is to kill some stuff and sacrifice it to God. So that's what he did.
And now Samuel's pissed.
Yeah, so now God's going to find somebody to replace him, Samuel's saying.
So he'll find someone to replace you. Verse 22. When it came time to go to battle, there were only 2 swords in the entire Israelite army. Saul's and Jonathan's.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is really amazing. So the people were there, but they didn't have any swords? Or it was just Saul and Jonathan?
I don't know. Maybe they just had their lanterns or something. But they like
Yeah,
Gideon's army. they had these battles with hundreds of thousands of soldiers, but
Yeah.
there's only 2 swords
Well, that
in
is
all
ridiculous.
of Israel.
So they're not going to win, it seems, if they only have 2 swords.
One thing you notice that I left out about 8 verses or so between 14 and 22.
Yeah.
And what that has in there is something about how the Philistines were making it so that there were no blacksmiths or whoever, the people that sword makers,
Yes.
so that the Israelites wouldn't be able to have swords. Something about that. So apparently this was part of the Philistines' doings,
Yeah.
but the result was that there were only 2 swords in all of Israel.
Clever on the Philistines' part.
Mm-hmm.
So chapter 14. One day, Jonathan said to his armor bearer, does everybody have an armor bearer, Steve?
You know how you have armor, it's heavy,
Yes.
so you want somebody to carry it for you.
Yes. It's like playing golf. You want them to pull your bag.
It's just like playing golf. And one of the things that often happens with armor bearers is that they're very attached to the soldier they're carrying their armor for.
Yeah.
In a way that sometimes some Bible scholars say they're attached in kind of a very intimate way.
So he said to his armor bearer, let's go find some uncircumcised Philistines to kill. Like, this is like fun. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah, no, exactly. Who knows? Maybe God will help us.
So his armor bearer replied, do whatever is in your heart. Whatever is in your heart is in my heart too.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Bible scholars are correct about
Yeah,
that.
they have a special relationship, I think. So Jonathan told him his plan, saying, we'll go over to the Philistines, and if they say, wait there, and we'll come over to you, then we'll stay put.
But if the Philistines say, come here and we'll show you something.
Then we'll attack, knowing that God will help us kill them.
Okay, he just came up with that plan all by himself?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they did that.
And when the Philistines saw them, they said, come here, and we'll show you a thing or two.
That's the answer they wanted to hear.
That's right.
When Jonathan heard that, he told his armor bearer, God delivered them into our hands.
So Jonathan and his armor bearer went over and began to kill Philistines.
Good idea.
Yeah.
They killed about 20 of them, all in an area of half an acre or so. This was Jonathan's first slaughter.
Yeah.
He's learning how to walk.
His very first slaughter. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so verse 15. After Jonathan's first slaughter, everyone trembled among the Philistines. They trembled so much that it caused an earthquake. So it was a very great trembling.
That would be really great trembling, wouldn't it? How many times we've had people tremble and cause an earthquake?
Yeah,
It's several times now.
Yes.
I should make a list of that.
for sure 2 times.
Is it only 2?
Well, there may have been more,
Yeah,
but the
it
ones
seems
that I
very
remember.
familiar to me, but yeah, could be. Saul's watchmen saw the Philistines melting away and beating down on one another.
All the Philistines were killing each other with their swords.
So God saved Israel that day. And you see, it couldn't have happened any other way. They didn't have any swords, right? Jonathan and
that's
Saul had
right.
the only swords. So the only way they could win this with all of these Philistines was to have God force the Philistines to kill each other. And that's what they did.
And God has done that before.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of his magic tricks, I think. Verse 24. Saul said to the Israelites, don't eat anything until I kill all of my enemies. Anyone who eats anything is cursed.
So no one ate anything.
Well, and so,
I think it's a special time. You know, they're killing things, killing people. So don't mess it up by eating anything. You know, we got to stay focused here.
yeah, but it's hard to stay focused when you have no energy. But
Well,
that's okay. I guess that was Saul's.
That's my best guess.
Okay. So verse 25. Then the Israelites came to a forest where there was honey on the ground. Oh no, honey.
Yeah, it happens, you know. No one dared to eat any honey because of Saul's curse.
But Jonathan hadn't heard about his father's curse. So when he saw the honey, he dipped his rod in the honeycomb, ate some of the honey, and his eyes were enlightened.
And his eyes were enlightened.
Does that mean that he realized, oh my gosh, I should not have eaten the honey?
Or a special honey that got you really focused, you know, this kind of
Special power.
yeah. I'm not sure. A little later, Saul said, let's go kill the Philistines tonight.
But first, he asked God, shall I kill the Philistines? Will you deliver them into Israel's hands?
But God didn't answer.
That's not a good sign when
No.
God doesn't answer. Saul said, since God didn't answer me, someone must have sinned.
Whoever it was will die, even if it's my son, Jonathan.
Okay, that's bizarre. That's kind of a Jephthah thing going on.
Yeah, and it's also weird because there's everybody in Israel. It could have been anyone, right?
Yeah.
But whoever it is, they're going to die if they ate something, like ate some of that honey. Mm-hmm. They're going to die, yeah.
So maybe in his subconscious he thought maybe it was Jonathan? I don't know.
I don't think he had any idea who it was.
So verse 41. Then Saul said to God, select by God
By lot.
who is the guilty one.
And Jonathan was taken.
Oh.
So I left a little bit out here. God does his usual thing when he's selecting people by lot.
Uh-huh.
First it's these folks, and then it's, he keeps narrowing it down.
Yes.
He finally gets it down to Jonathan and Saul. Could be one of the two.
Oh.
And then finally it's Jonathan.
So Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what you've done.
Jonathan said, all I did was taste a little honey, and now I must die.
So I guess Jonathan didn't get the message. Don't eat anything.
That's what it said in the text before. Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't hear about that. But
Okay.
whoever does, no matter whether they heard or didn't.
Yeah. So Saul said, yes, you will die, and God will do even worse to you.
But all the people then said to Saul, don't harm a hair on his head.
So the people rescued Jonathan.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's God going to think about that?
Well, I think he's okay with it.
So God wasn't the one who gave the order, don't eat.
No, that was Saul.
Okay.
But God was the one that did the lottery thing.
Yes,
Apparently.
he was part of
They
it.
cast lots. But he asked God, when you cast lots,
Yes.
it's special.
Uh-huh.
It's not just...
You have to draw it out.
Yeah, it's not just drawing straws. It's drawing straws in a way so that whoever is selected, God is selecting.
Uh-huh.
Kind of magically, right?
Uh-huh.
Somehow. Okay, so
Then Saul and the Philistines went home.
King Saul fought against everyone. Moab, Ammon, Edom, Zobah, Philistines, Amalekites. And wherever he went, he vexed them.
Vexed is not a good thing.
Yeah. He vexed him, I guess, with just his sword and Jonathan's sword.
Uh-huh.
And maybe they got some more made in the meantime.
Yes, they found some
Well,
blacksmiths.
They would have had all the Philistines after they killed each other.
Oh,
they would
yes.
have collected their swords.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And there was war between the Israelites and the Philistines during the entire reign of Saul.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a weird story.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, we got through it.
We did.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, listeners. Bye-bye.
Bye.